Okay, in this section we're going to set up a MaxBoneLOD with a character. So we've got a zombie here who's a pretty standard rigged zombie. And if I go ahead and unhide his rig here, we can take a look at that. I believe this is a regular bipedal rig. Everything is displaying as boxes right now, but it's a regular biped rig. And we've got some additional bones that are attached for his coattails here. He's got some dangling intestines here. He's got some bones there for that. But he's a pretty articulated rig, and you can see we've got bones for each finger and whatnot. Now, MaxBoneLOD is useful in this regard, mostly with fingers and additional small bones, where if you've got a certain amount of characters on screen, or you've got the character at a very far distance, and you want to be able to cull those bones out and just not update them. And that way you save on performance a lot. Basically, the skin doesn't have to listen to an additional half of your rig, and this can basically put your performance at twice of what it was. So it's a very, very useful tool. So what we do is we just go here. Here's our MaxBoneLOD icon, and we bring this up, and this brings up the little MaxBoneLOD utility. And all we have to do is add his actor root. So we go ahead and we find that, and I believe it's a standard, BIPO1. So we pick that, and that's basically saying, okay, here's our actor root, which we had also set up for the animation manager as well. So we're at current level is 0, and that means basically all the bones are going to be active. So we're going to go into LOD paint mode right now, where we can assign and remove bones from the different levels of detail. So we're going to go into LOD paint mode here by clicking this button. And that's nice. It hides our skin for us. It puts all of our bones in a regular display mode. So now we can go through and we can see, okay, current level of 0, all of his bones are active. So let's add another level here. We go to 1. And now everything is transparent, which means all of his bones are inactive for this level. So if we were to switch right now or use this MaxBoneLOD level, he would go from fully articulated and moving to completely not moving at all. So we want to add some bones to that. So we're going to go ahead and say add. And we're going to click here on the ends of the leaf nodes, basically, and it grabs all of the bones above that and makes them active. So we're going to go ahead and do the same thing for his hands. And we'll leave his head active in this one. So this first level of detail here, also I'll add his feet. So this first level of detail, all we're calling out is the fingers, the coattails, the dangling intestines, the toes, and some eye movement, which is basically all of the little details. We're just basically culling those out. So now the application, when the character gets to a certain distance, or we get a certain amount of characters on, or whatever the application determines, it can swap to this MaxBoneLOD level of 1, and we can cull out these bones. Okay, so let's add another one. So we're going to add level 2, and this time we'll just go ahead and we'll get his forearms and his legs, and we'll leave out his head, and that'll pretty much do it for level 2. And we'll add one last level here, just kind of to show the example of what the MaxBoneLOD is doing. And so on this one, we'll just add his upper arms and his upper legs. Okay. The last thing that we need to do, we're going to go out of LOD paint mode, and we need to add a skin to these LODs. So with MaxBoneLOD, the theory is basically that you can have multiple skin levels as well for different levels of detail. In this case, we only have this one skin, but if you do have multiple skin levels, you can add them as well. So we're just going to add this one skin level, and we're going to set this to where it ended, which was level 3. Okay, and now we're all set up. So now I can I'll hide his bones again, and we'll take a look at him inside of our animation manager. Now this is asking me to add an additional plugin to the script because he's an old asset which hasn't been loaded up in a while, so we're taking care of that there. Okay, so now we've got animation tool open, and here's our zombie, and we can take a look at, say, his stock animation, or let's look at his idle animation. That's probably a good one. And we can go ahead now and we can see what these are our increment and decrement buttons, for the BoneLOD levels where we can preview what the BoneLOD is going to do. So as you can see now, his fingers are not moving, and his intestines and coat as well have stopped updating. And now so is his head. So if you're at a distance far away, you're not really going to notice that. And that increases our performance quite a bit. We've seen that using BoneLOD, and there's the final level, which we kind of just wanted to add there to make it very visible, that only his upper thighs and his upper arms are updating at this point. And this way, we can get about twice the performance out of a character that you can when you're trying to update all of the fingers and everything, even at a far distance. Okay, so that's about it. That's a very basic example of setting up BoneLOD inside of 3D Studio Max.